Welcome to the Synaptic Soul Podcast, where science meets spirit and they totally make out. I'm Ava Marie Anderson, your quantum-loving, spiritually savage bestie, here to prove your energy isn't mystical, it is measurable. And quick heads up, if you hear snoring or grunting or a dramatic sigh mid-download, that is not a ghost in the machine. It's just my Frenchie co-hosts, Rocky and Rambo, vibing at their own frequency. Let's dive in. Here's the plot twist nobody tells you about gratitude. It is not soft, it is not delicate, and it is definitely not the spiritual equivalent of a pumpkin spice latte. Gratitude is feral magic wrapped in biochemistry. It's the kind of energy that doesn't knock. It kicks the door in, grabs your nervous system by the scruff, and says, "Sit down, babe, we are going to recalibrate." And on a day like Thanksgiving, when the collective is already swimming in nostalgia and carbs and weird family dynamics, tapping into genuine gratitude becomes damn near a superpower. But before we get into the woo, let's go straight into the science, because you know me. If I'm not like making the quantum field and neuroscience kiss in a corner, I am not doing my job. So gratitude is not just a feeling. It's not just think happy thoughts. Gratitude is a neurological event. It is the physiological shift that drops your entire system into a different state of consciousness. When you feel real gratitude, not performative, not the forced, I guess I'm grateful for having Wi-Fi, but deep and honest appreciation, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, which are the two neurochemicals responsible for pleasure and mood regulation and emotional resilience. Like, these aren't little sprinkles of feel-good. They are the literal architects of your neural pathways. So every time you feel gratitude, you are reinforcing neural circuits that make your brain more resilient and more flexible and more capable of seeing possibility instead of catastrophe. Like, gratitude is neuroplasticity wearing a sparkly dress. And then there's the heart. That's the diva of the body. Like, we tend to forget that the heart has its own neural network, its own form of intelligence, and an electromagnetic field that can be measured several feet outside of the body. Like, yes, you have a field. No, you are not imagining it. You are literally glowing. And when you feel gratitude, the rhythm of your heart shifts into what scientists call coherence. And that's the state where your heart and your brain fall into synchronized, harmonious communication. Like, coherence is the biological version of falling into alignment. Everything inside of you clicks into place. Your nervous system stops acting like a shaken up soda can, your thoughts stop spiraling, and your body stops bracing for impact. Gratitude is regulation. Gratitude is stabilization. Gratitude is your nervous system exhaling. And this is why manifestation works better from gratitude than from desperation or like the "I hope this works" energy. So when your system is coherent, your electromagnetic field becomes more stable, more organized, more potent. The quantum field responds to clarity, not to chaos. And gratitude is clarity incarnate. It tells the universe, I'm available, I'm receptive, I'm aligned, let's fucking do this. But here's where it gets deliciously ancestral. Like, our ancestors, yours, mine, every lineage on earth, they understood gratitude long before neuroscience existed. They didn't have MRI machines to measure heart coherence. They didn't have the language for the vagus nerve activation, but they damn sure understood energy. Like, gratitude was woven into rituals and harvest celebrations and prayers and offerings and feasts and songs and communal storytelling. Like, gratitude wasn't a vibe, it was technology, a way of communicating with the land and the elements and the unseen forces and the spirit world. So when they harvested food, they thanked the soil. When they built fires, they thanked the flame. When they made it through winter, they thanked every ancestor who got them there. Like, gratitude connected them to something greater than themselves, not because it felt cute, but because it maintained energetic reciprocity with the world around them. So when you practice gratitude now, you are tapping into that ancient circuitry. You're not just journaling, you're plugging into a lineage that understood gratitude as survival, as magic, as spiritual physics. And let's be real. Gratitude hits different when life isn't perfect. Like anybody can feel grateful for everything when it's all going well. But when life is throwing plot twists at you like it's trying to win an Emmy, or when the universe hits you with a character development arc, or when you're standing in your kitchen wondering why your manifestation timeline feels like it's a dial-up internet, that is when gratitude becomes alchemy. Because look, genuine gratitude, the kind that lives in the body, not the mouth, doesn't pretend that things aren't hard. It simply creates enough internal safety for you to see clearly again. It opens the window when your mind is fogged up with fear. It softens that fight or flight response long enough for you to get your hands back on the wheel. And gratitude isn't denial, it's leverage. It's choosing the higher timeline even when your ego is hissing at you like a feral cat. It's saying, yeah, this moment is messy and something inside of me is still okay. Or, yes, everything feels uncertain and I can still find a thread of sweetness. Or, yes, I don't have everything I want yet and I can honor what is already here. Like, gratitude doesn't shrink your pain, it expands your capacity. It shifts you from victim consciousness to creator consciousness. It shifts you from panic to coherence. It shifts you from surviving to receiving. And that, my love, is what we're diving into on this post-Thanksgiving episode. Not gratitude as an aesthetic, but gratitude as a quantum frequency that rewires your biology and harmonizes your field and activates the ancient intelligence running through your bloodline. Gratitude is science. Gratitude is spell work. Gratitude is the portal. And today we're going to walk through it together. Quick pause because my next plot twist is coming for your bookshelf. My debut book, For the Plot, drops spring 2026, and it is part memoir, part fiction, and fully unhinged spiritual awakening. It's heartbreak and humor and holy chaos all rolled into one delicious disaster. So if you've ever burned your life down and called it character development, this one is for you. For the Plot, coming soon. Get on the list at avamarieanderson.com. All right, let's get one thing straight, bestie. Gratitude is not bypassing. Like, I will die on this hill. Gratitude isn't pretend everything is fine. Gratitude is not positive vibes only. Gratitude isn't you gaslighting yourself into spiritual submission while your inner child screams into a decorative throw pillow. Like, gratitude, real gratitude, the kind that actually shifts your life, is nervous system sovereignty. And here's why that distinction matters. You cannot access true gratitude from a dysregulated body. Like, you cannot feel appreciation when your nervous system is in fight or flight or freeze or fawn, or the I'm emotionally checked out and floating above my body like a confused Victorian ghost. No, your body will literally not let you. The biology simply will not support it. So when you're overwhelmed or you're stressed or you're triggered, your limbic system takes over, and it's survival brain. And survival brain is not interested in gratitude. It's interested in scanning for tigers that no longer exist. It narrows your perception until all you see are threats and problems and disappointments and the unfinished laundry. Like, you could be standing knee deep in blessings and survival mode will still be like, yeah, but what if everything falls apart in 12 minutes? And gratitude doesn't deny this. Gratitude interrupts this. Like, the moment you drop into genuine appreciation, again, not forced, not performative, not the I should be grateful shame loop, your vagus nerve activates. And that nerve is the quiet powerhouse behind your emotional regulation, your intuition, your digestion, your heart rate, inflammation, and spiritual receptivity. When the vagus nerve gets the memo that you are safe and your whole system will begin to shift, like your cortisol drops, your heart rate slows, your muscles unclench, your breathing deepens, your brain stops playing that internal DEFCON 5 soundtrack. But don't bypass the hard. You just stop drowning in it. And this is why gratitude is a spiritual practice rooted in biology. Like, you're not ignoring the pain. You're accessing the part of your body that can actually hold it without collapsing. You're stabilizing your internal environment so that you can navigate the external one with clarity instead of with chaos. And listen, we need to talk about this because the spiritual world has done a piss poor job at explaining it. Like, gratitude isn't bypassing, gratitude is resourcing. It's the same way a climber doesn't pretend that the mountain isn't steep, they just clip into the rope that keeps them from falling off the cliff. Like, you don't practice gratitude because life is perfect. You practice gratitude because life is fucking intense and you want your body to stay online while you work through it. And this is where the nervous system becomes your main character. Like, gratitude moves you out of sympathetic activation, which is your fight or flight, into a parasympathetic state. So rest and digest and integrate and receive. And guess what state your intuition lives in? It's the parasympathetic. Like, guess where your creativity and your clarity and your ability to receive guidance and your manifestation power all live? It's parasympathetic. Like, guess what state your ancestors whisper to you through? Also parasympathetic. Like, your soul doesn't DM you when your nervous system is screaming. This is why gratitude is such an effective trauma healing tool. So, trauma wires your body for constant danger. Gratitude rewires your body for capacity. It gives your brain and your nervous system new evidence, like, oh, maybe not everything is a threat. And over time, your baseline shifts. Your window of tolerance expands. Your reactions soften. And your sense of safety becomes internal instead of circumstantial. Like, you don't gratitude your way out of trauma, you gratitude your way into resilience. And your ancestors, they all knew this intimately. Like, they weren't practicing gratitude because it was smooth. They practiced gratitude because life was hard and unpredictable, and survival required emotional coherence. Rituals of gratitude and harvest festivals and singing and praying and storytelling around fire, they weren't cute cultural traditions. They were nervous system regulation practices done collectively. Like, a village dropping into gratitude synced up their emotional fields, which synced up their nervous systems, which created community resilience. Like, gratitude was ancient somatic therapy. And here's the kicker. Your lineage still remembers. Those practices live inside your DNA. Like, gratitude's one of the fastest ways to activate ancestral memory because it mirrors the rituals that they use for mental and emotional and spiritual strength. When you practice gratitude now, your ancestors feel it echo back through the line. Like, gratitude isn't just a feeling, it is a frequency that they recognize. So, let's address the bypassing thing head on. Like, bypassing says this isn't happening. Gratitude says this is happening and I can still find my center. Bypassing denies pain. Gratitude increases your capacity to hold it without drowning. Bypassing disconnects you from your truth. Gratitude reconnects you to the possibility. Like, one suppresses, the other regulates. One numbs, the other empowers. So when you choose gratitude, especially in the difficult moments, you are choosing nervous system sovereignty. You're choosing to stay connected to your body instead of abandoning it. Like, you're choosing to regulate rather than to react. You are choosing the timeline where your power stays intact. Like, gratitude doesn't make life magically easy. It makes you steady enough to move through the hard without losing yourself. And that, my loves, is why gratitude is not bypassing, it is evolution. All right, here's where we take gratitude out of the Pinterest journal and straight into the quantum field like the spiritually savage scientists that we are. Because if segment 1 was biology and segment 2 was nervous system sovereignty, segment 3 is the moment where you realize that gratitude isn't just regulating your body. It is literally shifting your reality. Like, welcome to the big leagues, big, because in the quantum world, everything exists as probability. Infinite versions of you, infinite timelines, infinite future outcomes. Nothing is solid until it's observed. It is a concept called the observer effect, which is basically the universe saying, hey, sexy, your attention shapes matter. So where you place your focus determines which version of reality that you lock into. Like, most people unknowingly broadcast their attention through fear and through scarcity and through shit never works out for me, through doom scrolling and trauma loops and the internal voice that still sounds suspiciously like a parent who needed therapy 20 years ago. But when you drop into gratitude, everything changes. Like, gratitude shifts your attention from threat to possibility, from chaos to coherence, from nothing ever works to holy crap, things are actually working. And in doing so, you collapse different probabilities into the quantum field. Like, gratitude's not passive. Gratitude is directive. Gratitude tells the universe, this is the timeline that I choose. Because look, here's the plot twist. Gratitude is one of the only emotional states with a stable, coherent electromagnetic signature. Like, hope is wobbly. Excitement spikes and then crashes. Visualization can accidentally activate fear. But gratitude is consistent. It is measurable. It is harmonious. And it stabilizes the energetic field around you. And in the quantum world, stability equals manifestation power. So when your heart enters coherence, which gratitude triggers, your electromagnetic field becomes more organized. And an organized field draws organized outcomes. It draws clarity. It draws synchronicity. It draws aligned opportunity. A coherent field does not attract chaos. And this is why shit starts moving fast when you practice gratitude regularly. Like, you ever notice how when you're genuinely grateful, miracles start popping off like popcorn? Like, you find the parking spot. You get the unexpected check. Somebody texts you with the thing that you needed. A door opens. Like, synchronicity smacks you across the face like, hey, babe, we have been trying to reach you about your soul's extended warranty. It is not coincidence. It is coherence. Gratitude is the biological and energetic state where your field becomes receptive. But let's get even nerdier for a moment, because I know you guys like this. In quantum field theory, your body is not just matter. It is a vibrating information field. Your emotions, also vibrational information. They signal to your state, they signal your state to the larger field. It signals abundance. It signals openness. It signals I have enough and I can hold more. Like, the law of resonance says that what matches your vibration comes. And the law of coherence says what matches your order stabilizes. Gratitude activates both. This is why gratitude before receiving is more powerful than gratitude after receiving. Like, when you appreciate something that hasn't manifested yet, you're not delusional. You are attuning to the version of you that already has it. You're shifting timelines based on emotional frequency, not physical evidence. And the physical always follows the energetic, like always, but you need a stabilized field first, and gratitude is how you stabilize it. Like, think of gratitude like a tuning fork. If you want to be on a timeline where you are loved and supported and thriving and abundant and regulated and inspired and healed, then you tune yourself to the frequency where that version of you already exists. Everything else begins rearranging. This is why people say manifestation is effortless when they're aligned, and they're not lying. They're just coherent. Like, here's the secret that your ancestors knew. Gratitude was the OG manifestation ritual. Like, they didn't pray from lack, they prayed from thankfulness. They didn't harvest from scarcity, they harvested from reciprocity. They didn't ask the gods for more, they thanked the gods for what was coming. Gratitude was a portal, a bridge between the worlds, a signal to spirit that they were open and ready to receive, and it still works in the exact same way. Like gratitude is the frequency that collects the gap between you and your future self. So when you spend enough time in coherent appreciation, not performance, not perfection, not toxic positivity, your identity slowly rewires. You stop being the version of you that's waiting for life to change. You become the version of you that life responds to. And the timeline where you're empowered, gratitude takes you there. Or the timeline where you are as abundant as heck, gratitude tunes you to that signal. Or maybe it's the timeline where you're aligned and intuitive and magnetic and self-trusting and embodied and guided. Like gratitude's that key card. Not because gratitude attracts things, but because gratitude upgrades you to the version who receives those things with ease. Like this is the real magic. Gratitude isn't about changing your life, it's about changing your energetic identity. And when your identity shifts, the timeline shifts with it. You know how everybody loves to say love and light? Yeah, but what about the black holes? Like, this is where Morgan Garza comes in, the shadow work queen herself. Her podcast, Love, Light, and Black Holes, is where mysticism meets the messy middle. Morgan dives into the real work, the grief, the rage, and the rebirths, and somehow makes it sound like a damn revolution. So if you're ready to stop spiritually bypassing and actually integrate your darkness, go check out Love, Light, and Black Holes with Morgan Garza, available wherever you listen. Let's talk ancestors, the ones who walked before you, the ones who survived what should have broken them, and the ones who carried entire lineages on their backs so that you could be here today, breathing and healing and remembering and becoming. Because when we talk about gratitude, we're not just talking about a self-contained emotional state within one human body. Like, no, we're talking about a lineage frequency, a vibration that echoes across generations, a signal that travels backward and forward through time, touching every single soul who ever contributed to your existence. Your gratitude isn't just yours, it's theirs. It is all of theirs. And before we get witchy, let's start with the science, because ancestors aren't just spiritual, they are biological. Like your mitochondria, your nervous system wiring, your stress responses, your emotional patterns, and your instinctual senses, these are all hand-me-downs. Not metaphorically, but literally. Epigenetics shows us that trauma and fear and strength and resilience and survival strategies, and yes, emotional patterns like gratitude can be passed down through generations. Which means that when you tap into gratitude, you are doing more than feeling a nice emotion. You are activating dormant codes inside of you that your ancestors never got to access because they were too busy trying not to die of war and famine and colonialization and childbirth and plagues and migration and poverty and persecution and all the horrors that history politely glosses over in the high school textbooks. Like, we're the first generation in our lineage, for many of us, who has even had the luxury of pausing long enough to feel grateful without immediately needing to look over our shoulder for danger. And that alone is reason to drop into reverence. Like, gratitude's not just emotional hygiene. It is lineage healing. When you practice gratitude, you send a biological signal through your nervous system saying that we are safe now. And do you understand what that means to the ancestors who never got that signal a day in their lives? Like thousands of years of people who never felt truly relaxed are living inside of your cells waiting for that moment of release, and gratitude gives it to them. Gratitude is how you let them exhale. Your ancestors practiced gratitude differently because their world was different. It was harder and harsher and more dangerous and more unpredictable, but they still did it. Like every culture on earth has gratitude rituals. They had offerings to the land and feasts at harvest and songs sung to the sky and prayers whispered to the rivers and candles lit for the dead and salt and bread and wine and flowers and incense and fire, circles around flames, thanks given to the spirits who kept them alive, meals shared with community, thanks to the sun and to the rain and the ancestors and the seasons. Like gratitude wasn't a vibe. It was a technology for survival and connection and protection and reciprocity with both the seen and the unseen worlds. Like when your Scottish ancestor left food at the threshold to thank the house spirits, that was a regulation ritual. Or when your Mexican ancestor laid out marigolds on Dia de los Muertos, that was a remembrance ritual. Or when your African ancestor offered water to the ground, that was a reverence ritual. Or when your Norse ancestor carved a rune into wood before winter, that was a protection ritual. Or when your indigenous ancestor thanked the land before taking anything from it, that was a reciprocity ritual. Like gratitude was their way of staying in right relationship with existence. It was energetic hygiene. It was spiritual etiquette, good Lord. And it was emotional resilience. Like you're descended from people who understood that gratitude was currency, not financial, but cosmic. Like gratitude kept the lineage alive. So when you drop into gratitude now in your 2025 little apartment with LED candles and a Frenchie snoring on your leg, you are plugging into that ancient system. You are participating in a ritual older than any religion on earth. You are reconnecting the broken lines. You are speaking a language that your ancestors understood instinctively. And guess what? Here's the delicious part. They respond. Like your ancestors respond to gratitude faster than anything else because gratitude is recognition. It's acknowledgement. It's honoring what they gave and what they survived and what they endured just so you could exist. Like when you say thank you, they hear it. When you light a candle and whisper gratitude for your lineage, they gather. When you take a deep breath of safety, they feel it through you. Or when you eat good food in celebration, they feast with you. Or when you practice gratitude for your life, you are healing the wounds of theirs. Gratitude is how you offer your ancestors what they never had, which was rest and safety and softness and joy and enoughness and belonging and peace. Like some of your ancestors never got to feel joy without fear. Some of them never got to experience love without danger. Some of them never got to rest without consequence. And some of them never got to feel safe in their own bodies. But you can. And when you do, they do too. Like this is the part that makes gratitude spiritual. It makes gratitude magic. It makes gratitude holy because gratitude isn't just a frequency that shapes your life. It shapes your lineage. Like you're the pivot point between the past and the future. You are the bridge. You are the one who gets to rewrite that pattern. And gratitude is the tool that you use in sending healing in every direction of time. Like your gratitude today becomes resilience for generations that come after you. Your gratitude today becomes peace in the generations that came before. Your gratitude today becomes coherence in the quantum field around your family line. Gratitude is a spell, a real one, cast across centuries. And every time you practice it, you are telling your ancestors that your suffering will not be the punctuation mark of this lineage. I will write the next chapter differently. And thank you, I have got it from here. You ever wish your spiritual practice came with a push notification? Same. That is why I live on the Sage app. It's like a digital mystery school and a self-care sanctuary had a baby. You'll find rituals, live classes, moon circles, and daily practices from some of the most badass teachers in the spiritual space. And yeah, I'm one of them. I host the live new moon manifestation clubs, plus courses and activations that blend neuroscience, quantum mechanics, and ancient magic. It's basically science with a side of witchcraft. So come hang with me live on the next new moon inside Sage. Download the app in the App Store or Google Play, and let's just get your energy right and your rituals tight and your frequency lit. Now that Thanksgiving has come and gone and the food coma is worn off and the family chaos is settled and the group texts have quieted and you've emotionally recovered from explaining your job and your single status and your book and your spirituality or your French bulldogs for the 400th time, this is where the real work begins, because gratitude on Thanksgiving is cute, but gratitude after Thanksgiving is where the frequency actually integrates. This is where it becomes identity instead of performance. But let's call it what it is. Like, holidays are energetic roller coasters. Nostalgia, old wounds, joy, stress, connection, avoidance, sensory overload, soft moments, resentment, comfort, and chaos. It is the entire spectrum. Like, most people come out of Thanksgiving emotionally fried, not spiritually aligned. And this is exactly why the after is more important than the during. So gratitude isn't meant to be a moment. It's meant to be a stabilization pattern, a way that your energy organizes itself, a way that you choose to walk back into your life once the turkey and tension have cleared. So instead of guiding you through a practice, I want to talk about who you are right now in the aftermath, because gratitude is not something you sit down and do. It is something that you embody when the dust settles. It has a way of carrying your frequency through the world, and right after a holiday that activates damn near every nervous system wire you have ever had, gratitude becomes a choice, a reclamation, a reminder of your sovereignty. And think of it this way. Like, Thanksgiving gives you data. It shows you your emotional edges, it reveals your regulation capacity, it activates old patterns and new awareness, and it shows you which parts of your healing are solid and which parts are still tender. Like, gratitude after Thanksgiving is integration. It's looking at all of that and saying, okay, what do I carry forward? And what do I want to leave behind on the table next to the mashed potatoes and the generational trauma? Because gratitude isn't the thing that you feel when people go around the table sharing what they're thankful for. Like, that's sweet, but that's not the work. The work is what happens after. Like, when you look at the people in your life and you choose to see the good without ignoring what's real, or when you notice the ways that you have grown since last year, even if nobody else acknowledges it, or when you witness the patterns that you refuse to bring into another season of life, or when you understand that gratitude and boundaries are not opposites, they're actually soulmates, or when you choose gratitude as a frequency, not as performance. Like, gratitude after Thanksgiving is not aesthetic, it's alchemical. Because once you're out of the holiday energy field, you get access to yourself again, to your intuition and your coherence and your clarity. That is when gratitude becomes powerful. That's when you can look at your life with an honest heart instead of a performative one. And here's the part that matters most. Gratitude isn't something you do in response to life. It's something that you use to design your life. So, after the holiday dust settles, you get to ask yourself, who am I becoming? And what timeline am I choosing? What identity am I stepping into as the year closes? What frequency do I want to bring into December? Like, what am I no longer available for? And what little threads of sweetness do I want to cultivate more of? Because gratitude isn't just about looking back, it's about anchoring forward. It's about shifting your electromagnetic field into coherence so that the quantum matches you with the timeline that aligns with the frequency that you're holding now, not just the chaos that you moved through. And here's the secret. The days after Thanksgiving are some of the most potent energetic days of the year, not astrologically, but emotionally. Like, you're raw and you're reflective and you've been reminded of where you came from. You feel the weight and the warmth of your lineage. You've been in close proximity with your family system, which always activates ancestral layers, whether you notice them or not. This is where the deeper codes surface, and your ancestors, gods, they love them this time of year. They show up strong. They're closer. The veil isn't thin. Your awareness is. Gratitude after Thanksgiving activates them like a tuning fork because they are not looking for you to perform gratitude. They're looking for you to integrate it, to carry forward the parts of the lineage that deserve to live on and to alchemize the parts that don't. And this is where gratitude becomes a portal, not a practice. A way of walking through the world with soft power, a way of aligning your nervous system with possibility instead of survival. A way of telling the quantum field, yes, more of this, more of what nourishes me, more of what expands me, and more of what honors my path. This is gratitude as identity, like gratitude as coherence, gratitude as your new baseline frequency, not because the holiday told you to feel it, but because your soul is ready to be it. So, as the Thanksgiving leftovers fade and the world shifts into its end of the year frenzy, you get to decide what energy you bring into the rest of the season, not out of obligation, not out of tradition, and not out of performance. Because real gratitude, real integrated post-holiday gratitude is the frequency that turns your life into an aligned timeline instead of a reactive one. Like Thanksgiving was the moment. Now you are the integration. You get to choose the frequency that you carry forward. And now you become the one who shifts the lineage by embodying the energy that never had access to it. Not through ritual, but through who you are becoming. You have been listening to the Synaptic Soul podcast, where science meets spirit and they totally make out. If this episode hit your frequency, do me a favor, rate it, review it, and share it with your fellow quantum weirdos. It helps the wavelength reach more souls. And if you caught a little snoring, that wasn't a portal, just my Frenchies Rocky and Rambo offering background blessings. Music is Cheat Code by 1,000 Hands, used under Creative Commons. And I am Ava Marie Anderson. Stay weird, stay wired, and keep making out with your higher self.